Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday. This is a new episode of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host Antoine speaking. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. In 2 more weeks, Christmas will be coming up, and I'm sure everybody will be getting all their stuff ready for the holidays and all. And I know I probably will. I don't know who's gonna get what or what I'm gonna buy or what I'm gonna do. I got a list to go through for the Christmas holidays, see who's gonna get what or what I'm gonna get. This has been a good weekend so far. Yesterday I went to go see the pre-Broadway musical The Wiz at the Cadillac Theater in Chicago. It was pretty good, I have to say. One of the actresses that's in The Wiz is from Chicago. Her performance as Eveline, the character, the villain of the Wiz, was in there, and she did a great job. The Wiz always came out in different forms, in different types, but this one was good. I remember the last time I saw The Wiz, it was a non-audience showing on NBC several years back, and that version was good, and it was nice. I had a great time. I went yesterday before today is the last day for Wiz playing at the Cadillac Theater here in Chicago before it goes to Broadway in New York later on this year or next year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But it was something I wanted to do. I had nothing else to do, so I just picked myself up, dust myself up, cleaned up, went on to the theater. Got my tickets 2 weeks in advance, so that was good. Had my seat prepared and everything. Stopped off, grabbed me a little something to eat, a little something to drink. Took it with me to the theater. Saw the performance. The performance was outstanding. The actors and actresses were all on point with their stuff. Knew their lines, knew their roles, knew what had to be done, knew what to be done, and everything was straight and to the point. There was some comedic situations. There were some serious situations in there. But other than that, the play went great without a hitch. Just giving you all a little taste of what I did yesterday. Didn't get into around about, I say, 5 o'clock. That's about it yesterday after the show. With that being said, I'd like to talk about today's topic on the Right Info Podcast Show, and is dealing with the reality of middle class America. Now, many are disconnected formally from reality and the future of the United States economy. Now, in a current market of massive hyperinflation, increased costs, living, housing, stagnant wages, etc. Now, what does the future hold for us? What does it hold for people who don't have any jobs, who have lost their jobs, or what are they going to do in the event that they do lose their jobs? Now, I've always heard people say the market will come down eventually, or it always has, or things will get better. I'm here to tell you that past events don't necessarily determine the future. Yes, historical events can be a good indicator for future possibility. But we are in a unique time, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't been on this earth very long. I mean, I'm only 47 years old. Haha, I just gave my age away. But I can tell you that in these 3 past years, during the COVID pandemic era, the last 3 years since the COVID pandemic hit, things have changed our world drastically. I make decent money. I make good money. A few years ago, I'd be considered middle class slash upper class. I'm really not speaking of myself now. I'm only just talking about the situation of the problem of becoming middle class. It's sad, soul crushing, and maddening. And it can really be something where, you're in a lower class, become middle class, and you're trying to get upper class. But doing stuff like that, it takes time and a whole lot of effort. Excuse me if you're hearing a page turn. That's me getting ready to cook as well, looking at a recipe, on my kitchen table and delivering this podcast. Oh, back to what I'm saying. And now here's my assessment of the next 20 to 40 years as far as middle class is concerned. Now, number one, the divide between socioeconomic classes will continue to widen to the point where homelessness, crime, and poverty will run rampant. Number two, something catastrophic will happen. I don't know what will, or anybody else know what will happen. Such as corporations will pay their employees a living wage, or there will be an increase in housing inventory, in between the cost of living. The cost of living will definitely go up if money doesn't come, in or whatever. People start losing their jobs, getting laid off, don't know what to do, don't know where to go, and that's basically the sad thing to think about. Now, if you can't see that the average American is struggling every single day to make ends meet, then you're sitting on a high horse of privilege. You really need to get off it, because sitting on it is very unnecessary. Enjoy it while it lasts, because your kids won't if you play your cards right. I've seen people live it every day. I've known people personally who lived it every day, trying to make one end meet with the others, trying to put food on the table, trying to get bills paid, rent taken care of, car notes taken care of, that sort of thing. Now the world around us is crumbling. Ladies and gentlemen, please open your eyes. Why is it in the past 3 years since we have seen the greatest influx of millionaires and billionaires in history, yet the average middle class is struggling? Now, remember, you will own nothing and be happy. Now, you know why these millionaires and billionaires are having it? Because, believing me, in a sense, during the COVID period, they were making more money. Businesses were closed. Nobody could go anywhere. Everything was in-house. Everything was remote. People still, those who were more fortunate, were still making money outside of the house, generating some kind of wealth or whatever, or means of staying above water so they won't have to drown in whatever debt they might face if it comes their way. Me, on the other hand, yes, I worked during the pandemic. I was able to keep my head above water, but I was still known to myself to be careful. Otherwise, there would have been slip-ups, mistakes made, or I would have found myself in a real bad economic situation where I couldn't get myself out of. And I worked hard. I did what I had to do. I made the sacrifices in order to try to keep up with a middle class way. In a sense, you could say I have a middle class mindset, but I'm thinking upper class, because who wants to stay below a level of what they're doing right now? Don't anybody want to raise up, get to the higher point of their life? Well, hey, I got enough money, enough wealth, and whether it's generational or not, or, I get what I can do, with what I got. And I can make myself more and more efficient through wealth by putting my mind and hand in what I want to make. Excuse me. I apologize for clearing my throat. Still in the kitchen doing a little cooking right now. But back to what I was saying, if you want to get to a certain point in your life, whether it's financial, professional, they say work hard at it. And the earlier statement that was saying that the economy will get better, things will get well, yeah, that's true. But that takes time. And time is like, patience. Many people don't have either. So things are going to have to get better one way or the other. Yeah, there's going to be some belt tightening. There's going to be some sacrifices. It's like, inflation. It goes up, it goes down. But it can't stay in the same direction forever. It has to be level. It's going to be leveled to a point where everybody can, won't have to pay high amounts of money for things they need. The cost of living is high as it is. I've seen the TikTok videos and the YouTube videos of people with their rants about the high cost of living, credit card debt, not being able to pay off student loans. I mean, you all should watch these videos. They're great. I mean, man, I might watch one tonight. And maybe people of the lower class, or not say lower class, those who don't have it can view them. TikTok, YouTube, they have those videos about people ranting about everyday life, what they got to go through, their struggles, their problems, and the solutions that they try to find in order to get to where they want to be, as far as their lives, especially their financial lives, is concerned. Um, it's interesting that we're in a time now where we have to watch our money. I'm sure everybody does. Like I said in a past podcast, if it's something you need, you really need it, you get it. If you don't need it, don't waste your money. Do get what you need, not what you want. What you want can wait. I mentioned this in the earlier podcast a while back, about a month or so ago, a few weeks ago, something like that. So that ties into middle class situations because middle class people, they want to get to the upper echelons of their financial situation, and it takes time, and it can be grueling. Believe me, it can be very grueling. You know, like I said, things have to be taken care of in order to get to that. Bills will start piling up high. There won't be food on the table, roofs on the head. Whether you having one job or two jobs or a hustle or whatever, you can bring those together and see what you can do with that. Pool all the money that you make with the two jobs and a hustle or three jobs and a hustle that you have and see where you go from there. And within time, you climb that ladder to that certain part of your life financially, everything will be okay, everything will be fine, everything will be just great. And, this really wasn't going to be a long podcast because the last time I did a podcast was December 2nd. And that podcast was pretty good. It dealt, with monetary issues, situation, economies, and all that. And I'm still in here cooking, and I'm going to get ready to finish cooking. It is about 3 o'clock right now. So I'm going to end this podcast on a positive note. If you want to get to somewhere in life, get anywhere in life, just keep trying harder. Yeah, there will be days that be down, difficult days ahead, and problems will arise, especially financially. Just measure your money right. Handle your money right. Weigh your financial, situation on where you want to go. Think about where you want to go, where you want to do, how and where you want to live. Will there be food on the table? If you want to get to a certain class, like from lower to middle or middle to upper, that's fine. Just work your way up constantly till you get to that point in your life where, hey, I got money to fall back on. Hey, I got money in my pocket. Hey, I don't have nothing to worry about. All my bills and stuff is taken care of. I'm fine. I'm good. Just don't slip up otherwise because one little mistake will hurt you. And, this is the end of this podcast of Middle America. The middle class situation. Might as well call it Middle America because there are people in all parts of America. Eastern, the Middle West, the Midwest, the Southwest, North, wherever you go. Everybody's having situations. And with that being said, that was a messenger notification thing if you heard that. I am going to end this podcast on a positive note and go on and finish cooking. So with that, this is the end of the Right Info podcast show with your host, Antoine. I don't use Antoine anymore. It's Antoine. You all take care of yourselves now. I will come back with another podcast. You all have a happy Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye. Love you all. And have a great day and a wonderful week.